As we all know, the beta for Call of Duty World War II was released a bit early, so I managed to download the World War II beta on PS4, and I played it for a good number of hours, and I'm here to say, it's not that great. I know what you're all thinking. Oh my god, he just said World War II, a game that I've been desperately wanting because everyone else is hyped for it, is not that good. Yeah, I clearly said that. I understand that World War II is a throwback to a time period people demanded for a while now. Yes, I understand the game visually looks good, and I can say the campaign and zombies has me stoked. But for multiplayer, it's just not that great. So let me explain here. So the first major downfall is how slow this game is. It's not slow because I can no longer boost jump in the air and run like a cheetah on crack. I'm just saying that World War II is slow, as in our overall ADS times are slower. Movement is more restricted since we can only sprint for a few seconds before we get tired. Oh, hold on, Mr. Developer.
Yep.
I know it's a video game and all, but we're talking about fully trained soldiers.
Yeah?
Who can run for miles without stopping.
Yep.
And that's without the adrenaline kicking into overdrive from being shot at.
Uh-huh.
And despite that, the game only lets them sprint for 4 seconds?
Well, you do have a division that increases the sprint for 8 seconds.
Are you serious? Why is this even a thing? Because they're only humans who aren't enhanced with robotics and exosuits, so they clearly can't sprint forever because... So, with 4 seconds of sprint given to us by default, why was this a necessary feature? Is it because the perk ideas were running low, so they had to come up with something to fill the void of selection? The point is, they're limiting us with no apparent reason. Speaking of limitations, that's another gripe I have about WWII. Is it just me, or does it feel like WWII is just more restrictive in terms of our custom classes? The devs thought that adding this new feature called Divisions was innovative and totally cool, and people would like it, but in reality, we have a system that tries to be unique, but just ultimately kills user customizations. In the previous Call of Duty game, if I wanted a launcher to knock out UAVs, I just equip it. But in World War II, you have to equip a basic training ability. And gosh forbid you don't equip the basic training... excuse me. I'm just gonna call them perks, alright? Gosh forbid you equip the perk and forget to equip the launcher, thus making that perk utterly useless. Why not just give us 2 basic training abilities? That'd be neat, right? In previous entries to the series, if I wanted flak jacket and wanted UAV protection, I easily had that right. In WW2, you can't have both. The necessities that people were used to having now are just thrown away, as I previously mentioned, which includes unlimited sprint and reloading while sprinting. Yes, they are now abilities again for some odd reason. In WW2, you can either have one or the other, not both. So if I liked sprinting for longer durations to reach an objective and domination, I can't have flak jacket at the same time, resulting in death from grenade spam. If I wanted to avoid detection from enemy recon aircraft, I can no longer be given my faster ADS movement with rifles, so I ended up moving like an elderly, sleep-deprived slug. Why? Because of divisions! That's why! Innovation! Yeah! Oh, and let's not forget hardpoint. I can sit on the hardpoint for over 3 minutes, but I don't get extra points for doing so? What happened to our 10 points per second like how Infinite Warfare did it? I know you don't get score streak points, but damn it, I want to have a high score on that scoreboard. Otherwise, there's no merit to the objectives, and I end up having Mr. Johnny Useless Slayer McNumbnuts getting higher scores without even a second on that hardpoint. Now we're actually going to get the part where I offer some of my ideas of how WW2 should change. Now granted, my voice is faint compared to other popular YouTubers. I highly doubt my ideas will ever be heard as a result, but nevertheless, let's get to it. Hardpoint should offer 10 points per second while in the secure position. I feel shotguns are a bit weak, so a mild damage or range buff would be good. Increase the ADS speed in terms of sprint out time and ADS movement. This goes double for LMGs. If needed, offer us the stock attachment again rather than it being ability for divisions. Extend the sprint time greatly or make it infinite by default without needing a division or perk. The footsteps and friendly callouts are too loud that the enemy can soundboard both. Reduce the footstep noises and make callouts inaudible to enemy personnel. Reloading while sprinting should be a default ability and can be toggled in the menu. Launchers should be selectable without equipping a perk. The audio options should include adjusting volume levels of specific things like sound effects, voices, music, and more. In addition, give some equalizer settings to allow one to fine-tune the audio to their liking. In Domination, I believe that the kill points should be increased only if opponents are on or near objectives. In other words, the closer they are to an objective, the more points you get. In Domination, if I am capturing an objective with 2 teammates and I get killed, I should get capture assist points, so long as the objective I was helping to capture is secured by the teammates that were with me. The next idea is a rather large one, and I believe it to be controversial as well, so bear with me. I believe that less is more. In other words, in WWII, the amount of game modes you can select should be limited in the form of unranked mosh pits. Let me pull up this list right here, and I'll let you know what the selections are and explain the modes within, which can be changed with given proper feedback. Slayer is a combination of Team Deathmatch and Kill Confirmed, but if the win-loss ratios were not affected or not even included, perhaps we can add Free-For-All to the mix. Objective is a combination of Domination, Hardpoint, Uplink, and even Fracture from Black Ops 3. Survival contains Search and Destroy, Search and Rescue, and Reinforce should feedback allow the mode to be added. Party contains a lot more modes that include solo and party games like Infected, All or Nothing, One in Chamber, gun games, Sticks and Stones, and more. Stats are not affected while playing in the party mosh pit, but you will still earn XP. Hardcore and Ground War are almost the same, as they provide the most popular modes like Team Deathmatch, Kill Confirmed, and Domination. Lastly, we'll also have the addition of weekend modes for people to play, but I also recommend that the DLC playlist should be a weekend mode as well in order to keep the selections minimal. With the mosh pit idea, I believe that we are given a more potent population so that people can find matches regardless of what time they're playing, along with better connections and better skill pairings. I have more ideas and feedback items I wish to discuss, but let's leave that for another time. I typically post my ideas on Reddit, so hopefully with my submissions there could be effective changes that make this game better. I have more ideas and feedback items I wish to discuss, but let's leave them for another time. I typically post my ideas on Reddit, so hopefully with my submissions there could be effective changes that will make this game better. Overall, I'm not saying that WWII's multiplayer is bad, it's definitely not great either. While the setting is unique and innovations are being attempted, the whole mass of multiplayer is a slow, restrictive mess without rhyme or reason. In the comments below, do you believe WWII's multiplayer needs to be altered? And what changes should be made that would make you happy? I hope you enjoy my video along with my little clever rants. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.